welcome everybody to Damaged Radio, heard here live, right on Completely Damaged, YouTube.com. And we have a Damaged exclusive here today with the delivery boy, Tony Chini. Tony, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you for having me. I am the best there is, the best there was, the best to ever deliver pizza, and now I'm right here on Completely Damaged Radio yet again. Thanks for having me.
Dynamite, dude. And, meeting you a couple months ago and seeing your in-ring talent, man, the sky's the limits for you, man.
I appreciate that. I do.
And watching, your hardcore matches with the Roadblock, Chad McCoy, just, your style in the ring, how you can adapt to anybody, and your appearance and entrance. Entrance is something that's so crucial in professional wrestling, getting over with the crowd. And you got it, my friend.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I really do work hard and think about that a lot. And, it's just I see a lot of people just kind of, they just step out the curtain, give the old, come on, let's go. And that will get people in there, but it's cheap. You know what I mean? I want to do something different and something that people will remember,
Right. Well, there's so much to talk about, man. But first, for the fans that don't know, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you found the love for professional wrestling.
So when I was a kid, it was around 2004 that I started watching, and my big feud that I started watching with was Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Chris Benoit for the world title. So when I saw that match at WrestleMania 20, I had been watching for a couple months at that point, but when I saw that match specifically, it kind of triggered something in my brain, like I needed to be that person, to be out there and perform and make those people feel that way. So that was the trigger. And then from there, I just started, taking influences from Eddie Guerrero and Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho and all the, greatest. And, I eventually ended up training with 911 and ECW Original and Son. And his son is my roommate today, so we still train together. And that was in 2017. And
man.
Training with Shikara in the beginning of the year.
Awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about character development. Who is Tony Chini, and how do you get into this character?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. Sorry, I just got out for a second.
That's all right. So, talk to us a little bit about character development and who was Tony Chini, and was it hard to kind of find yourself and find where you wanted to go with it?
It was actually kind of weird because when I was doing the training at 911 school, the building next door was an abandoned pizzeria, and we were just looking in there one day and we saw this pizza paddle in there, and we were thinking about gimmicks, and we were just kind of playing with the idea. Hey, well, what if I was a pizza delivery boy? And I never really thought. I was like, that'd be silly, and I don't know if people would really like that or whatever. And I just kind of brushed it off for a while. But eventually, it came to a time where I had to come up with a character, and I just decided that that's what I would run with. And there's definitely been a lot of tweaks throughout time, and it's been sometimes less gimmicky, sometimes more gimmicky, but. It just really depends on where you're working and what your crowd is on what you do. You know what I mean? Because some people like that extra gimmicky stuff, and some people would rather just see you go out there and wrestle. And I'm fine with doing either one.
So, what was the craziest thing you ever put in the pizza box during your match?
That's a good question. I'd say when I gave Anton Nathan the pile driver on the pizza box, and I exposed the hubcap inside. That was definitely one of my favorites.
Nice.
I actually have that still here.
Okay. You do? Well, that's the pan that you got hit in the head with by the Roadblock, Chad McCoy.
I'm sorry.
My friend Arthur, who you met at the wrestling show, actually has the pizza pan that you got hit with during a hardcore match.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, in your opinion, what has been some of your favorite matches thus far in your career?
Well, I really did enjoy those matches with Roadblock. I got to have 3 matches in a row with him, and I think that we really brought it, and the fans truly enjoyed what we were doing and the story that we were putting out there. And I can't thank Chad enough for that, honestly, because he helped me out a lot and helped me get over with that crowd. So I'd say my matches with Chad are definitely my favorite, some of my favorites, and also my tag team partner, who I have not brought to Triple WA yet. His name is Joey Angelo. Before we became tag partners, we had a couple of pretty good matches against each other, and we took each other to the limits, and that's why I decided I wanted him to be my tag team partner, because I could see that he can bring the best out of me, and I could bring the best out of him. So hopefully I get to bring him to Triple WA sometime soon.
Definitely. Now, what do you prefer more, tag team wrestling or being a solo competitor?
It's hard to say, because I really do like doing the tag team thing, and like I could do a lot of fun stuff with the tag team, but at the same time, when it comes to like the base of my character, you could do a lot more singles wise. But I do want to eventually evolve the delivery boy to be not as much pizza gimmick and just be more almost like Italian like mobster type of gimmick, and that's what I do with my tag team really. So once I kind of evolve into that fully, then I might stick with the tag team for a while.
Like maybe come out in a suit?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, just like the suits and probably I have like a pair of black tights that I've never worn there before, and so I mean I have a whole bunch of stuff that's just kind of put away for whenever I want to break it out. You know what I mean?
And that's the great thing about performing in front of a different crowd, a different promotion. You can test things out and see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, how have you been coping with everything with the quarantine?
It's been pretty good over here. Delivery is still going on, so that's always good for me. And
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, I'm just kind of sitting at home and just trying to keep myself healthy and also trying to, keep myself occupied and think of things to do in the ring. And for those of you who don't know, I still do wrestle weekly on YouTube on GTS Wrestling.
Okay.
And so you can catch me on there still weekly. And I'm fortunate enough, because on that show, to be able to be in the ring still during all of this through the last couple months. And I know a couple people who haven't been in the ring in 3 to 4 months. So that's a good thing. I feel like I have an advantage over some people.
So you're able to cope with wrestling instead of others who are coping without professional wrestling right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, what if it was? What was if the things were reversed and wrestling wasn't in your life right now? You think you would be this upbeat and this positive?
I mean, if I still wasn't able to be in the ring right now, I think that I could still keep a positive attitude, because, like I said, like I'm always thinking about new things to do, and also like I mentioned before, I do live with my trainer. I mean, he's right here, and we
That's
always
cool.
talk, and we're always thinking of stuff, and like we don't really need a ring to do that, because we also have stuff like we have our own padding, and he has his own ring that we're able to set up sometimes, and so.
Now, do you ever watch or study old matches of any specific wrestler to help your craft?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's one specific wrestler. I look up a lot of different things from a lot of different eras and different places and times. Because like earlier today, I was watching some Johnny Saint, and he's like an old British wrestler
Yeah.
and like very technical. And then sometimes I'll go and I'll watch some Arn Anderson, and I really like that old school rough style, which is kind of weird, because you think you look at me and you think that I might want to study Cole Cabana
Right.
and
Yeah.
Morella, and which I do, and they're great, and I love to study them too. But like I said, I'm trying to evolve my character a little bit, and I want to have more of like a rough technical style. So that's the people I've been studying lately.
Okay. Now, with the whole layoff going on, do you feel like your passion for professional wrestling is even greater and deeper, or how's the mindset?
I definitely think that I have like a passion and a drive right now that I haven't felt in a while, because like I said, I've been able to have all that ring time that all these people haven't in the last couple months. So I'm excited to be able to show that in front of a live crowd soon, and be able to working with everybody and see how everybody else is doing. And but I just feel like because of that advantage, I am really excited to show everybody that I'm not just been sitting around.
Right. Now let's rewind a little bit and go back to your first match. How are you feeling coming out? And did you have any jitters? And how'd that first match go?
Well, my first in-ring match actually was on the YouTube channel, GTS Wrestling, and that's recorded in front of like just us, like it's like private tapings. So I was fortunate
Okay.
enough to be able to have that experience a couple times before going out in front of a live crowd. But when I went out in front of a live crowd for the first time, it was really an experience like no other. I mean, I was shaking and I was nervous and there was baby oil everywhere, but that's another thing. But otherwise, when I came out the curtain and all the, I mean, it wasn't a packed house. It wasn't like a lot of people, but still, it was just there were people there, and it was weird to bump in the ring and look over and see people looking at you and reacting, and it was really cool to feed off of the reactions of the people.
Now, when there's not a reaction, how's your mindset? And you got to finish the match, but how's the mindset when they're not really reacting the way you want them to when you're in the ring?
Well, most of the time, that's when I figure I got to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
So I figure at that point, if I'm not really getting much of a reaction, I like to grab a little rest hold or something like that, and then look at somebody, especially if there's somebody with their girlfriend or something like that, and then I'll be like, "Oh, you like that, sweetheart?" And
Nice.
that gets a little reaction out of that person, and then the person next to them's like, "Oh shit," So
Yeah.
it's good if you like. Some people are trying to say, and this is something that I disagree with. A lot of people out there are saying not to target like one fan in the crowd, and it's like I wouldn't go up to a fan and say, "You're a piece of crap. Screw you. Get out of here," because that would be horrible. But at the
Right.
same time, I would go up to one fan and be like, "Oh, well, you think you could beat me up? Oh man, I whatever." You know what I mean? So just start some crap real quick. Like they like that. They wanna feel involved. Like when I went to one of my first indie shows with my dad. My dad was not very excited to go, honestly, but like what really captured him in the beginning was somebody went to go high five him, and then he put his own hand away and wiped the sweat off his hair and flicked it in my dad's face, and my dad was cracking up. Like I thought he was gonna be pissed. I thought he was gonna hate it, and he's loving it. And that got somebody who wasn't excited to be there. Like he was the first one on his feet by the end of that match.
Did he understand that there's heels and there's faces before you guys went to that event? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He understands that. He's just one of those people that if he's not doing what he wants to do in that moment, then he gets cranky. But he
Gotcha.
but he definitely had a great time at that show.
Nice. Now, what can the fans expect from the delivery boy, Tony Chini, when we go back to normal?
Like I was saying, I mean, I'm looking to show more of like a rough technical style, and the character's still gonna be there, and the delivery boy will still be there, and that's not gonna change. But it's just gonna be like less focus on the pizza box, more focus on the opponent, and
Nice.
I definitely want to showcase more of a rough style.
Okay. Now, what type of shows do you have lined up for promotion wise?
June 20th, there's going to be a drive-in show in Ocean Gate, New Jersey. And,
Drive through.
yes, so
That's
the cars there. All the fans have to stay in their car, and it's going to be very interesting. I haven't announced what I'm doing on the show yet, so I can't really say anything about that. But it's going to be awesome, and there's going to be a lot of really great matches, and everybody should definitely go check that out. It's a multi-promotional show, so there's a lot of different things to offer, different championships on the line, a lot of different crazy things going on, and on top of that, hopefully, I'm waiting to hear from Dino about Triple WA coming back. Hopefully, that comes back soon.
yeah.
And on top of that, UWC here in New Jersey, that's going to be returning, I believe, in September. And I also have a show in August, but that's going to be more of like a private taping, and you'll find that on YouTube.
Awesome. Now, let's talk a little about when when you're in the ring. Do you have any dream opponents?
I mean, of all time, I wish I could have gotten in the ring with Eddie Guerrero because he's my all-time favorite wrestler, and he was the best in my opinion of drawing emotion from a crowd and like truly like capturing people in the moment. And I would love to be able to experience that, but if I had to pick somebody a little bit more, I guess, realistic to the times, I would love to face somebody like Daniel Bryan or somebody like that, because he's, like I said, like I'm trying to go for that technical style, and he's one of the best technical wrestlers out there. So it would be cool to learn from him and be able to go back and forth.
All right, if there's one person, past or present, that you like to pick the mind of and learn some valuable information from, who would you pick?
I mean, I'd have to go with Eddie Guerrero again for sure, because, like I said, his ability to capture a crowd is like no other. And other than that, it'd probably be Chris Jericho, because he has that same ability to change the crowd without even saying a word. He could make the crowd go from one way to another.
All right, so let's think. There's a fantasy match. You have Vince McMahon and Triple H, and you have Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes sitting in front of you. You get to pick your dream match. One opponent from AEW, one from WWE for a triple threat match for your tryout match in either company. Who would you pick from each side, and what would the turnout be?
Well, like I said before, I would like to face Daniel Bryan, so I'll pick Daniel Bryan from the WWE side, and then from the AEW side, I think I'd pick Cody Rhodes himself, because honestly, I think that, like, even though it's his company, I mean, I don't know if it's kind of like one-sided for me to say this or whatever, but I think that he's one of the best performers there, honestly, and his wrestling ability, and his, like, he has a great mixture of today's style and the old school style, and I really like that. And then on top of that, Daniel Bryan with his technical wrestling and everything is just, I think that would be a cool match. And the turnout, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the fans would leave happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk a little about your goals for the rest of 2020 in pro wrestling and in life.
I mean, really, I want to be able to go against people who can test me in the ring, and I want to be able to take myself to that next level and show people what I really got. And I'm hoping by the end of 2020, like, you know, enough shows start coming back to where I can start proving that, and then 2021, that's going to be my year.
Now, I also want to ask you, when you go to promotion, do you always make sure before you know you talk to them about what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, and have you ever had an opportunity to not talk to someone and just freestyle it?
I mean, yeah, I honestly, like, at first I was nervous not to talk to somebody, and I'd rather talk about things and whatnot. And now I've gotten to the point where I've tested myself enough times on the fly to where I'd honestly feel more comfortable just saying, let's do this and this at some point, and then this and this, and then figure out the rest. And I feel like I can get more creative that way. I feel like, honestly, like, if I'm trying to think of things in the back, then I'll never think of any of the cool things that I think of when I'm just sitting at home or on the fly or just whatever. It's weird. It's like when you sit there and you try to think about it, then you forget what you do almost. You're like, I don't know, a clothesline, you know? I don't know. But if you're just in the moment, it's like, all right, yeah, it's a clothesline, or yeah, it's a back elbow, and it's a lot easier, and you can't mess something up if it's not, like, you know, predetermined or anything.
Right. Yeah. Seeing from behind you, you're a huge collectible fan. I can tell. Let's talk a little about your YouTube show, your collectible review show. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't really call it like a collectible review show, but I guess you can call it like, on my YouTube channel, I like to kind of put different content, different things out there. And one of the things that I just recently started putting out was like collectible reviews and stuff. But I've started out with doing like video games and like the collector's editions of the SmackDown versus Raw and the WWE series. I have pretty much all of them, so I figured I'd start off with those, and eventually I'll start, you know, maybe doing some reviews of the figures back here. And I got a whole bunch of cool, like, memorabilia from shows that I've been to, and just random stuff that I've collected as a kid and whatever. So just kind of slowly showing my collection.
I'm impressed. They're still in the boxes, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's some that are out of the boxes up here, but for the most part, all the ones that I had when I was a kid that were out of the box, I sold, and I kind of regret it. But there's actually one pretty cool story. There's in the big box that I sold, because I sold all of them at the same time. And in that box, there was a finger puppet, a Sting finger puppet. And I used Mighty Putty, and I put Dragon Ball Z legs underneath. So it'd be like an action figure instead of a finger puppet. Anyway, I sold it with the whole collection just in the bin. And a couple of years later, I went to a flea market and I found that exact same Sting finger puppet with the Dragon Ball Z legs and everything. And I had to buy it because I knew it was mine. So I have that one back, but all the rest of my collection's gone.
Yeah, like I had the old school figures, the really tall ones, the rubber ones that I had those. I threw them away, not thinking. But thank God I kept Andre the Giant, the Dusty Rhodes figure. I got the Hulk Hogan. And then when WCW put out their line, I got the Ron Simmons and Ric Flair, and I got a whole bunch more, man. So my kids play with them now. But
that's cool.
I was told by Bob Evans from ROH, you might want to put the Dusty Rhodes one away and not let your kids play with that one. So I had to put that one back because that one's supposedly worth some money. So
yeah, I've heard that it's worth money. The only Hasbros that I have are two of them that I have in the box still, and it's an Undertaker and a Hulk Hogan. And I actually, like, when I got I think it was the Hulk Hogan, that was the first one that I got and I kept in the box. And when I got it, it was a Christmas gift, and I was ready to open it right out of the box. And the person who gave it to me told me not to, and told me that it was a collectible, and that's one of the ones that you keep in the box. And after that, I got another one next Christmas, and that was the Undertaker one. And then from there, I was just like, I really like this. I got to start collecting more of these. And then I started getting more.
I'm right, man. That's awesome. So for the Damaged fans listening or watching on YouTube, if this is the first time they're hearing about you, where can they go on social media to watch some of your matches and to follow your career?
That's a good question. Well, if you go on YouTube, you can go find me on the official Tony Chini YouTube channel, of course, and also on GTS Wrestling Weekly, like I said. And on top of that, if you go on Twitter, you can find me at Tony Chini 96, on Instagram at Tony Chini, Facebook.com/Tony Chini Stub Your Toe. And if you're interested, I also have Pro Wrestling Tees. If you want to get some t-shirts, go to Pro Wrestling Tees, look up Tony Chini. And on top of that, if you want to get some cool shout outs or a happy birthday shout out or a channel like intro or anything like that, for just $5, you can look me up on Cameo and I can do a special shout out for you.
That's cool. And that's the thing with social media, you never know who's watching. I remember when I first time I met you in Quakertown, you were like, wait, you do Completely Damaged? And like, who knew? I didn't even know if you knew about me,
Yeah, I used to watch you when I was in high school, and I kept watching you, and then like it was kind of funny because I was doing the interview with you, and like I didn't think anything of it at first, and like halfway through the interview, I kind of looked at you and was like, wait a minute, I'm on Completely Damaged right now.
Right.
I was like, that's pretty crazy. I didn't even realize.
Appreciate that, man. And that's the thing, like no one really realizes, like when I would do those conventions, people always say, why do you ask the same questions? Because people like you're in the business, so you understand. But you don't know who you're going to interview until 2 minutes before you go up to the person and they grant you the interview. Yeah. So that's why I always kept it basic. For fans that don't know, how'd you get started? What are some of your favorite matches? Where can people find more information about you?
Well, those are the things that don't out. When I was a kid, those are the things that I wanted to know. You know what I mean? I didn't need to know anything else. And like for me, it was like I want to know where this person that I haven't seen in years has been the last couple of years and what he's doing now. You know, and it's crazy to see some of them, and it's cool that now I've been able to be on your show. I think this is maybe my third time or fourth time.
Man.
So yeah.
And hopefully we continue to build that relationship and get you on more and more and follow your journey, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm hoping that some of my peers see this and reach out to you and are able to come on the show as well, because there's a lot of good, hungry young talent around here that needs to have their story told.
Well, throw that one more time, man. People want to go to East Pro Wrestling Tees to buy your merchandise.
I'm sorry?
Throw that link out one more time about if they want to buy your merchandise.
Yep. no problem. If you go to Pro Wrestling Tees and you look up the delivery boy Tony Chini, you can find all my merchandise. And even if you're a fan of my fiance, the Spaghetti Queen Francesca, if you look up the Spaghetti Queen Francesca on Pro Wrestling Tees, then you can find her there as well. And at Francesca Chini on Twitter.
All right, there's only one way to end this interview. Right now, hit me with a promo. You versus Eddie Guerrero. Look into that mic and looking at the camera and hit me with a promo. You versus Eddie.
Wow, you got me on the spot here, but I'm gonna go for it. Ready?
Action.
Eddie Guerrero. Viva la raza. You lie, you cheat, you steal. But you know what, Eddie? Sometimes that doesn't get you the victory. That only gets you the loss. And when you get in the ring with the delivery boy Tony Chini, you can lie, cheat, steal, do whatever you can. But the end is still going to be the same. The delivery boy is going to be on top because I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best to ever deliver pizza. Now you lie, cheat, steal on that.
Well, the delivery boy, Tony Chini, you just been completely damaged. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Completely damaged! Completely damaged!